Professional wrestling could not be any hotter in 2019, with a lot of people calling it a third boom period. The reason? Competition, not just in-house in WWE with the rise of NXT, but what's going on Wednesday nights on TNT, 8 p.m. Eastern, with the launch of AEW and the weekly show Dynamite. And a big part of that is our guest on CBS Sports, the man, the myth, the Mox. It's AEW's Jon Moxley stopping by. Mox, I'm fired up to chat with you, given what's going on. It's a great time to be a pro wrestling star right now. How are things, man?
Pretty good, man. It is a great time in the business. It's a great time to be a fan. It's a great time to be a pro wrestler. And tomorrow night, AEW Dynamite's in Chicago, one of the best wrestling towns on the planet, at the Sears Center, and it's going to be an electrifying evening.
A big-time wrestling town, like you mentioned. Thanksgiving Eve there. We're going to check that out. Now, look, we knew you for years as Dean Ambrose in WWE. Your exit on your own terms to go solo has been one of the biggest stories of 2019. 6 months into this, Mox, how would you describe your time now on your own, doing it your way?
I don't think it could be going much better. When I initially decided to leave where I was at before, AEW wasn't even a thing in existence yet. So that opportunity came up, and it just worked out really good. I was excited about kind of the project and agreed on all the points about, we need that there are fans out there that need an alternative. They deserve a national, global, mainstream alternative, and there's an audience for it, and we can give them that. And I think we're really succeeding in giving the mainstream audience something different, which is the biggest thing I think we need to do. A lot of other startup promotions over the years have kind of relied on ex-WWE stars and the WWE formula and so forth like that. And the cool thing about this is that, the top 6, 8, however many guys, if we wanted to be over there right now, we could. We're actively choosing to do something different, to try it a different way. And it's all dudes, all in their prime, at the top of their games. And we've brought these fans along with us. And really, these AEW fans that are showing up to Dynamite every single week, that are watching on pay-per-view, coming to the pay-per-views, following our stuff. The fans have driven this more than anything. It hasn't been hard. It hasn't been like we've been trying out. We've been, staple gunning posters all over town trying to get people in the buildings. These fans are hungry for an alternative. They want this, and we're just trying to give them the best possible wrestling show we can every single week.
Well, what really connected with me, John, when you made your exit from WWE at the expiration of your contract, was the things you talked about in that podcast appearance with Chris Jericho about being an artist. From that standpoint, I've been watching you on AEW. I don't see any gas masks. I don't see any on-screen immunizations. How much creative control do you have over this version of Jon Moxley that we're seeing?
Pretty much in that it's all a collaborative effort. There's so many great ideas that come in, and I go, that's a great idea. Really? That's cool. We could do that. Hell yeah, that's awesome. And I'm hearing good ideas. And I have full control in that, I'm not going to go out there and do anything that makes me look stupid. At least not on purpose. And that is a very, that's a giant kind of weight lifted off my shoulders, but yeah, it's a collaborative effort with everybody. Everybody's got ideas. Everybody's adds their own little flavor to the mix. You get all these talented, like super creative guys that have no fear of like reprisals. There's no higher ups we're trying to make sure we have to please or anything like that. It's, super creative guys who don't give a damn what anybody thinks. We're trying to put on something that we like, that we think the people will like. And, you got to play your music your way and hope that, people appreciate it. But whatever it is, it's honest and authentic. And you have all these different kinds of guys with all these different kinds of styles who bring something different to the table. And right now it's a real variety of, we got high flyers, we got power guys, we got funny guys. We got violence. We even got some sports entertainment, some traditional, guys in the ring doing entertaining segments. We literally have everything on the show, and it's just testament to how much talent we have of all that brings so much different stuff to the table, and the fact that everybody's completely unencumbered by any other outside forces creatively. Everybody's just going. It's kind of like a giant musical jam session every Wednesday night. At the end of the night, everybody's goal is to just make sure everybody leaves on their feet, and there's not any kind of negative egos or negativity right now. It's all just a very positive. And like I said before, the fans are really the ones driving and powering all this, and it just makes it such a joy to go out there and perform in front of them. Like I said, it's one giant AEW right now is one giant jam band, and we're just going out there jamming for 2 hours on Wednesday night, and the crowd loves it.
That's a great way to put it.
On the spot, I hope it's good. I don't know if that's anything.
I mean, the crowd has been a massive part of it. I think you guys are playing to them in really good ways. But if we're going to take this music analogy further, you said AEW brings different styles. They also bring death metal from the idea of sort of the death matches, which we know you have a history of pre-WWE. At AEW Full Gear, the most recent pay-per-view, you and Kenny Omega put on basically a 39-minute thriller there with that unsanctioned match. It brought back the feels, John, of old school ECW and some of the things that hooked a lot of us originally as a fan. Did that match go too far in your eyes? Is there a too far in 2019 for you as a performer?
No to both questions. I was thrilled with that match. I remember thinking the night before, I was like realizing how far we were going to take it. And, you get two guys like me and Kenny who are super creative, artistic guys who really don't give a damn what anybody thinks about anything. We're pretty immune to, worry or fear of criticism or anything. And I remember thinking the night before, I was like, some people are going to hate this, but this is going to be awesome. I was like, oh my God, this might be really awesome. Like, we're going for it. And it's funny because it's funny how little any of this was my idea. Like, I would have never, I make no apologies for my love of the deathmatch style, the hardcore style, whatever you want to call it. But I would never force that upon anybody else because it's not for everybody. A lot of people are grossed out by people getting, things jabbed in their eye and stuff like that. I'm not one of them. I would have never imagined that, we'd be allowed to go that far in AEW. But so when some of these ideas started getting bandied about, I was like, really? We can do that? Hell yeah. All right. This is going to be awesome. I'm your guy. So I was thrilled with it, man. To do something that legitimately shocked people and got people talking in 2019, and more importantly, something that was just different. You order a pay-per-view for the last decade or so, even if it's really good, you pretty much know what you're going to get. And to do something that was totally unexpected and to create a really unique painting, and I said it on some of this other media today, we painted the painting we wanted to paint. And it's not something everybody's going to want to hang up in their living room because they might look at it and it might make them a little uncomfortable. But
I love the commitment, John. I love the commitment that you two showed to saying, look, this is the style of match we're doing. We're going all in. So please break kayfabe for us. What the heck hurt the most? I mean, there was a bed of barbed wire. There were mouse traps. Give me the inside scoop here.
It all hurts, man. Man, people think, everything in wrestling hurts. To say oh, that hurt the most, or this would be a disservice to just the regular moves you take on a daily basis. And I've been in pain for so long, and just my normal level is just feel like crap all the time. So it's kind of as far as how much it all hurt, it was kind of Not like I woke up the next day like, oh my God, what have I done? It was just kind of more the same, but it was more satisfying. Like the worst stuff to me is like, I'm not really into falling from high places anymore. I've done enough of that. The tables and chairs and the car crash stuff, like that can really hurt. That can really take a toll on your body. So, but there was a point where I kind of ducked my head. I got gashed open in the back of my head, and it's pretty early on in the match, and I just felt the hot liquid running down the back of my neck. And I thought, oh, this might not be good. So I just covered it up and was put pressure on the wound. And I was like, well, they'll probably, if I bleed so much that I pass out, they'll come out and save me. So I'm not going to bleed to death. So let's just hope it stops bleeding here pretty soon. And it did. So we got through the next 40 minutes or so.
Love it.
That was Kenny Omega is kind of at his, kind of what he's known for. It's kind of like, he's kind of like classical music, like very long, very beautiful, graceful, elegant, detailed, long performances. And I'm kind of like thrash metal, just very in your face. So you combine these two things and you have something totally different than anybody has ever seen, or at least seen it in decades. And I put that up against any match of the genre from any company out there. And I don't really give a damn what anybody else thinks.
Take that. I love that. I love that confidence there.
Yeah, and I knew he had a home run. There's the response I got from, those within the industry and, my other wrestlers and peers and so forth. That was just like, and I could tell in the building I love the crowd. I love the feeling in the air. It was a different feeling that I haven't felt in probably a decade since I last did some of those things. It's a different feeling in the air where it's like these two guys say they're going to try to hurt each other and kill each other. It shouldn't be like all sunshine and rainbows and shit. Like, it should be a little uncomfortable. If we're trying, if I'm like, I hate this guy and I'm trying to hurt him, there should be an uneasy feeling in the air. If it's the guy you like and I'm stabbing him in the eyeball with a pencil, then yeah, it should be a little uncomfortable. I like that we made people feel something a little different,
Well, speaking of the feels here, Jon, let's talk about this. You reached obviously the highest of highs with WWE, from being WWE champion to being part of the Shield, one of the greatest groups or factions we've ever seen. But May 25th, AEW Double or Nothing, when you made your debut, when you came in at the end of the show, when you attacked Kenny Omega, I'm not sure I've heard a bigger pop. Where does that compare to what you've enjoyed from a pro wrestling crowd throughout your career?
That was a very special moment for me because that was kind of that was a rough last couple months there. I was just I went radio silent. I didn't really say anything about anything, even though all these rumors were going everywhere about what I was doing. Is he going, staying, whatever. And then I put a lot of effort into creating that trailer video that I put out that got rumors went even crazier. It had the exact effect that I wanted it to. Nobody knew what I was going to pop up or when or whatever, but people got the point that like that was kind of the build up, and the payoff was to the video was Double or Nothing. And when I showed up, I feel like people really, no matter how many rumors there were, I feel like nobody was really going to believe it until they see it. Like, nobody leaves WWE, especially he's a Shield guy. He's not going to leave WWE. I think people just didn't believe it until they saw it, no matter what the rumors were. So, but the video kind of primed it and set it up. So the second I walked out, everybody knew who I was, what was happening. They knew I was Jon Moxley. They were immediately had a full arena, and because Jon Moxley wasn't a famous name, that was my name. But now I had a whole full arena of people instantly chanting my name. Was after being in hiding for a month, and then the months of kind of just dealing with getting through the end of WWE and it was a really weird period of time. And then was in hiding, and then finally kind of come out and take a breath of fresh air and be like, I'm back, bitches. And the crowd is great. Like, it was not just because the crowd made a bunch of noise. It was just deeply satisfying on a personal level, just from how challenging the previous few months had been.
Well, Jon, not because I think you're a potentially vindictive person, but because of the passion you show for this art form and this craft. You ever want to text Vince and be like, "How you like me now?"
No, 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 not really. I don't really.
Good answer.
I don't have any. Especially now, like when now that it's however long, 6 months or whatever later, I'm not motivated by any sort of like, oh, I'm gonna show WWE or I'm gonna show them or this. Like I showed them, I had the great run there. They like I have nothing to like prove to them. I kind of don't care about them, what they do. They can do whatever. Good luck to them, whatever. But like they're not like, I don't have any that chip on my shoulder as far as like I'll show Vince. I honestly don't have that. I feel like that would just probably be just negative anyway. My energy is about creating new positive things and just putting out little pieces of work, whether they be big or small. Having a good match or a good angle or a good promo, and just enjoying myself and just enjoying the fact that I don't have to have a real job, that I get to live my dream, that life's been good to me, and I just want to live in the moment and really just enjoy that I just get to be a pro wrestler, which is all I ever wanted to do.
You're telling me you wouldn't be upset if you turned on Raw one day and Baron Corbin was the new third Shield member? Just want to set the stage here. We're good on that.
That would amuse me to no end.
All right, Mox, let me talk about another step in your journey this summer when you went to Japan, New Japan Pro Wrestling, that insane G1 Climax tournament in which you're wrestling basically every day for a month and a half. I want to know what your future is in Japan and how grueling that actually was for you.
I love Japan. As long as I'm wrestling, I will always wrestle in Japan. I love the fans, the culture. I love Sumo Hall, Korakuen Hall. I love the style. I love that it's different than here in America, and everybody that's ever wrestled over there always wants to go back because it's just a real special place and special style. It's more sports oriented, and it's just different. And I was like, I never planned on doing the G1. That was just kind of floated to me, and I was like, I knew how hard it was, and I'm like, because I'm a New Japan fan, and was like, ooh, that's I don't know, that's a tough one. And then I was like, 5 seconds later, I was like, well, now I have to do it, because I was like, oh, that's hard. Now I can't back out, because now I feel like a wuss if I don't do it. So I was like, well, got to do it. Just, so I was like, all right, I'm in. So I'll figure out this New Japan style on the fly, and I'll just rely on instincts and work really hard and have fun and see what happens. And I was really happy with my run. I was happy with all those matches, and just had some matches over there I'm just really proud of, and it was a fun experience. It is grueling, though, because it is really physical, and it does not stop for 5 weeks. And I have a pinched nerve in my neck that kind of was bugging me before I left in like June, that I was kind of trying to get worked out, that I didn't have kind of properly diagnosed. I just thought it was kind of a stinger. And the first day of that tour, it just started it became exacerbated, and then just further exacerbated as the tour kept going, because I'm getting punched in the head and forearmed, and the style's so physical. So I was in pretty bad, excruciating pain, pretty much 24/7, pretty much for the entire 5 weeks. So that made it a little bit harder. It didn't really affect my performances at all. It just like kind of made it it was uncomfortable being in the ring, just like, God. But I was able to do some spinal decompression and get it kind of properly diagnosed when I got back, and kind of fixed it. So it's starting to go away now. It's not really bothering me anymore. But yeah, man, that thing will take a toll on you, man. But I was not gonna take my foot off the gas pedal or like at all. I was just like, well, we're doing this and I'm committed, so we got to go. And I put my absolute heart and soul into that tournament. So
you were like a prime
very
Stan
happy
Hansen out there. It was great work, Mox. I hope.
I feel like it just gave me that. Now I got that, got that New Japan cred, so I can go back anytime I want.
Sounds good. I want to close on this. Look, we all grew up loving the Attitude Era. People still want the Monday Night Wars all over again. And I know we kind of have it with this Wednesday Night Wars with AEW and NXT going head to head, but it's a larger sort of potential war there. You can turn on your Scott Hall voice. You can call me Chico if you want. You want a war? Are we in a war right now? Are you looking at the ratings? Are you looking at the critical response? How motivated are you right now to get AEW Dynamite every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern on TNT to a level where it's surpassing the weekly shows that everyone's used to?
I mean, on the one hand, yeah, on the one hand, yes, it is a war because they are making moves that they're trying to, they counter-programmed us and so forth, and there's no denying that there's something going on. But I think the perspective here is that we're trying to be an alternative. And I know people aren't going to believe me when I say this. They're going to go, no, it's a war. But it's like, the more people are watching wrestling, the better it is for everybody. The more people are watching wrestling on Wednesday nights, the more likely they are to flip back and forth, and hopefully they become fans of everybody. And if we worry about what they're doing and try to win quarter hours and try to win the night and so forth, I think these mistakes have been made in decades past. We have long-term plans. There's simple, effective, long-term booking and storytelling that is good. There's already little details and little Easter eggs and little seeds being planted for stuff in the future that you won't even find out about till months from now, and in all kinds of different angles. And if we become reactionary to anything that they're doing, that's just going to screw up our plans for ourselves. We're just going to do our show. And, that's the only real way to look at it. Because otherwise, if you get too caught up in anything, like the other week or whatever, they're saying after the show, they're like, yeah, they really they put all these people on the show and everything. I was like, good. Then hopefully more people watch on Wednesdays that wouldn't normally watch on Wednesdays, and maybe they flip through the channels on commercial and they catch Nick Jackson versus Phoenix, and now they're AEW fans, So,
a war or not, you got us watching Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, TNT. It's AEW Dynamite, and a big part of that, along with Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega and company, is our guest, Jon Moxley. Mox, it's been a pleasure. Best of luck moving forward. I want a war. I hope it keeps going because it's great for pro wrestling.
Yeah, the more energy is up, the more people are talking, the more people are watching wrestling, the better it is for everybody, man. So it's a fun time to be a wrestler and a wrestling fan.
Thanks so much for joining us.